What's up everyone and welcome back to HateWatchers. Today we're kicking off our weekly Ahsoka coverage with our comedy breakdown and review for episodes 1 and 2, entitled Master and Apprentice and Toil and Trouble respectively. Without further ado, let's get right into the breakdown, so this is your official spoiler warning. We kick the season off with an opening crawl to let you know that real Star Wars is back, at least in the mind of the creator. A New Republic ship gets boarded by two traveling insurance salesmen here to talk about their ship's extended warranty. When the Republic soldiers decline the offer, the two go into aggressive negotiations, proving that insurance salesmen really are just the fucking worst. One of them, Baylan, frees a Jehovah's Witness the ornery Republic soldiers had jailed previously. We fly over to Ahsoka, who's wandering around the Middle East and using her lightsabers to drill for oil. But she only finds one of Indiana Jones's old filming sets. She solves the puzzle and unlocks her prize and...
Oh my god, it's the Golden Snitch! She's done it! She's won the Quidditch Cup for the Jedi! The Jedi win the Quidditch Cup!
5 Saudi oil security droids powered by ChatGPT confront Ahsoka, and when they lose, they're programmed to engage in suicide bombing mode, so Ahsoka is forced to flee. Ahsoka then meets with General Hera Syndulla, and now that they have the Golden Snitch star map, they might be able to find Grand Admiral Thrawn and Ezra. On Lothal, we meet Sabine in live action for the first time. She thinks she's a cool biker chick, but back home we see that she's just a single woman with a cat. Ahsoka comes to visit Sabine to see if her experience in spray painting graffiti can help decipher this intergalactic puzzle ball. Okay. And then there's tension, because apparently Sabine used to be Ahsoka's apprentice at some point, but their relationship soured. We learn that Baylan, one of the salesmen from earlier, used to be a Jedi, but he got tossed out of the order for steroid use. Ahsoka comes back out to find that Sabine literally stole all her furniture. Sabine unlocks the ball because no one before her thought to spin the moving parts to make the design line up. And when it's unlocked, it just shows a reenactment of the Death Star firing. Pew pew. Then Sabine gets attacked by droids and she does the most useless spinning back elbow in history.
The Sith have caught the snitch! The Sith win the Quidditch Cup!
Sabine runs out with her lightsaber, and she and the Sithy goth GF named Shin duel, in a real slow and kinda weird fight. Then Sabine gets stabbed through the bottom of her lung and keeps fighting for a bit and is fine. What the fuck? Why do Disney Plus shows keep doing this one specific thing, having their characters survive lightsabers through their vital organs? Whatever. That's the end of episode 1. On to episode 2, Sabine is in the hospital for explosive diarrhea. And the lightsaber wound, which is no big deal anymore, obviously. Baylan and Shin land on the Isle of Tsushima to check the star map and find directions to the nearest Wendy's. In the hospital, Sabine is fine 11 seconds later. Elsbeth, the Jehovah's Witness from earlier, is revealed to be a witch of Dathomir, and she uses her magic on the ball, revealing the location of Thrawn. And the nearest Wendy's, but no one's hungry anymore. Ahsoka and Hera follow a lead to the shipyards of Corellia, arriving just in time for a surprise health inspection. We hop back to Sabine where this droid tells her that if she's just going to sulk in bed all day, she might as well kill herself, and even hands her a weapon. Back to Corellia, Hera and Ahsoka are tired of not getting answers, so they murder everyone. A suspicious transport carrying a suspicious hyperdrive starts to take off, and the two give pursuit. Ahsoka is stopped and has to face off with an Inquisitor and an assassin droid, while Hera and Chopper pursue in the Phantom. Ahsoka runs her lightsaber through the droid's chest and it doesn't keep fighting. The Inquisitor flees in terror of Ahsoka because she's invincible as long as Dave Filoni is writing her story. Hera and Chopper plant a tracking device on the transport just before it gets away. Sabine once again dons her Mandalorian armor and gets aggressive about removing split ends. Ahsoka picks her up in front of a mural made by special needs children, and they head off to find the escaped transport. Elsewhere, the hyperdrive is installed in something called the Eye of Sion, where Elsbeth is stewing menacingly. Baylan is skeptical that they'll succeed in selling Ahsoka an extended warranty and has some moments of weakness as he seemingly sympathizes with the Jedi. And the episode comes to an end. Well, we've reached that point in the video where we have to decide if these episodes were a great watch or a hate watch. But these two fall in between Great Watch and Hate Watch, making them a debate watch. They were very mid-episodes in our book. The first episode started out really strong and then just slowed to a crawl. And the second episode was pretty much all crawl until the end, which ramped things up a bit, but even then it was just okay. Now it's obvious to us that your enjoyment of these episodes pretty much completely depends on how you felt about Star Wars Rebels. If you liked or loved Rebels, you were probably geeking out for 90 minutes seeing Lothal and all the imagery from the animated show brought to life there, seeing the Phantom, catching up with all the female characters from Rebels. If you didn't like Rebels, or haven't seen Rebels, or don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, we think you're going to have a rough time trying to care about any of this, and we have to imagine these episodes would bore you to tears at times. Don't let the name of the show Ahsoka fool you. It looks like this is just going to be Rebels Season 5. These first episodes put more of an emphasis on Sabine than it did Ahsoka. Things could change, but for those who don't care about Rebels, it's not a promising start. One weird problem with these early episodes is that a ton of the scenes just drag on, and most of the time it's just to see these characters staring longingly, or ponderously, into the distance. Nearly every scene in the first episode felt indulgent, trying to force moments of a nostalgic homecoming, which it will be for some fans. But for everyone else, there won't be any emotional weight to any of it, so the pacing just slows to an absolute crawl. This is Filoni's first solo live-action Star Wars gig, so we're wondering if translating his animation background into live action might not be as smooth as people expected. But the biggest issue we had with the first episode was yet again having a character survive getting impaled in the chest with a lightsaber. Why does Disney keep doing this one thing over and over and over? It's like a complex at this point. The Grand Inquisitor survived this injury, Reva survived this injury twice, and now Sabine survives it and continues to fight for a bit afterward. You know who didn't survive this injury? Qui-Gon Jinn, Kylo Ren, Aegon Kolar, and plenty of other stronger Force users and characters. They just die. A grown man died instantly to a similar wound earlier in the same episode.
Actually, Kylo Ren didn't die from this.
Yeah, because he was immediately healed by the God Empress Rey Skywalker Palpatine. And you know what he didn't do after taking an identical injury? Keep fighting. And for anyone who sees these lame arguments about,
well, she got immediate medical attention.
Two things. Reva, from Kenobi, took the same injury through all the vital organs when she was 9, and then crawled into the sewer. So clearly Disney Star Wars doesn't require
immediate medical attention
to have lame characters survive this. Secondly, and way more importantly, trying to explain this survival away is missing the point. Every time that a character is stabbed through the chest with a lightsaber and survives, it cheapens the whole thing. Lightsabers look more and more like harmless neon flashlights, villains look more and more incompetent, heroes look more and more invincible, and death itself, the act of a character dying, never feels final and thus carries less weight than it should as a storytelling device. They might as well change the name Star Wars to laser tag because
no one ever really dies.
The average viewer will never jump through hoops trying to explain why 3 characters have survived chest impalement via lightsaber in the last 2 years. They'll just think it's dumb, and they're not wrong. Beyond all that, there were some other lame things about these episodes, like the random map ball. Why does Star Wars keep throwing in random maps that lead to missing people? Like, why do these exist? And if they exist, why have they been sitting untouched for decades? And why did the captain at the very beginning let 2 obvious frauds onto the ship? Just to call their bluff? Or just to get them in the right place to set up a cool action scene? These are just lame plot devices. Lastly, Ahsoka seems pretty miserable thus far. She seems too stoic to make a positive first impression on viewers who may not know her backstory and have that to fall back on. On the positive side of things, I think all of the villains are pretty interesting at this point. So far, I actually like Shin the most, whereas I expected to like Baylan's character more. That being said, Baylan clearly has some mysterious conflicting motives in this whole endeavor, so that should be interesting to unravel. And Morgan Elsbeth carries more intrigue than I expected. I also thought that these episodes had a bit more of a classic Star Wars feel to them, with the Force, Jedi, lightsabers, the assault on the Republic ship, relationships between masters and apprentices, etc. And most importantly, the creators are giving fans what they want. Now, they are giving specifically fans of Rebels what they want, and not necessarily a wider audience, but you should still give credit when someone gives at least one group of fans what they want. There are some great things peppered in here and there, but overall, these episodes didn't leave much of an impact on us. We're interested to learn more about Baylan, Shin, and Morgan Elsbeth, and of course Grand Admiral Thrawn eventually. And to see who this masked Inquisitor is, because it seems like they're setting his identity up to be a twist. But beyond those, these other storylines aren't grabbing us yet. We don't think this show will move the needle for Star Wars as a whole. As someone pointed out on the last video, this looks like it'll just be a show for the remaining pre-existing fans, and it won't do much at all for everyone else. And that's what we see happening so far. But it's early, and we're optimists, and we will give this show the benefit of the doubt with only 2 episodes under our belt. Comment below. Did you give in to the heavy marketing and give these 2 episodes a chance? If you haven't seen Rebels, what are your impressions of Ahsoka so far? Are you just watching for Thrawn? If you've resisted the pull to the dark side thus far and haven't hit that thumbs up yet, we ask that you'd consider liking the video and subscribing to HateWatchers to stay up to date on Ahsoka. Thank you for surviving this mortal wound with us today, and we'll catch you on the next one.